Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Just wanted to get on here and do a quick video just giving my thoughts on the recent Capcom Showcase as well as the recent Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary celebration stream that took place. So, let's get started with the Capcom Showcase, which took place this past Monday. Um, Now, one of the things that they started off with was the um, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak expansion, which is going to get a demo and a whole bunch of new monsters and content and such. Personally, last Monster Hunter that I played was Monster Hunter World, and I like the concept, but just the whole multiplayer and how long it took to actually get a chance to play with my friends was a turnoff for me. But I'm sure there's a lot of Monster Hunter fans out there that will definitely appreciate this expansion. And Sunbreak will release June 30th, but yeah, definitely not interested in that. Pardon me. So they also showed off more footage of Exoprimal, which they're gonna do a closed network test. Personally, I don't know. Looking at that gameplay trailer, it kind of it kind of reminds me of like a combination. It's like a combination of Overwatch and Dynasty Warriors. That's really kind of, and maybe a little bit of Vanquish, but that's what it reminds me of. Just with the objectives, the different objectives, and the hack and slash, the crowd control, the crowd clearing, enemies, which are dinosaurs. Um, I thought it was pretty neat as far as there's a bunch of different types of dinosaurs represented in this game, or at least from what they've shown. But I don't know. Like, do I see myself invested in this? Probably not. But if I end up getting easy access to the closed network test, I might check it out. I might check it out. Like I said, it has that Dynasty Warriors Overwatch type of look to it, which I like both games. It's just I don't know, like the enemies are dinosaurs, like it it looks weird. But as time passes and this game continues to be in development, it might end up being good. I don't know, but yes, pretty much co-op, and you can join with friends to slay dinosaurs and complete objectives. So it's intriguing, but I don't know if it's gonna do well. I really don't know if it's gonna do well, but we'll see. Um, didn't really show a whole lot more of Street Fighter Six from what was previously revealed. But they did reveal Guile, so we know we're getting Guile. But they did say that there will be another big announcement in regards to Street Fighter Six before the end of this year. So who knows what that'll end up being? But I am pretty excited for Street Fighter Six in general. I just hope it ends up going well and it doesn't end up going the same path that Street Fighter Five did as far as development to the release. Um, they also teased Dragon's Dogma, which they did a little 10th anniversary event. But the thing is, they sat there and teased it and then turned around and said that they're going to do a video or whatnot in a couple of days. Like, why couldn't they have just done it right then and there? Folks had to wait till Thursday. That's dumb. And of course, what did it end up being? Pretty much Dragon's Dogma 2 is in development. So at least we know that's going to happen. But I just felt like they could have used that Capcom Showcase time to at least announce or show some footage instead of saying, "Hey, check that Thursday." It's like, really? So I just thought it was really dumb. Thought it was really dumb. But you announce a Dragon's Dogma 10th anniversary event for Thursday at the Capcom Showcase. That makes no sense. Anyways, Resident Evil Village, also known as Resident Evil 8, is getting some DLC. It's getting a winter expansion, which will involve. It's going to have a couple of different things. So it's going to get. Let's see. It's going to get the Shadows of Rose story DLC. So you got some content DLC there. You also will get a Mercenaries mode that'll let you play as Lady Dimitrescu. Also, it's getting a third-person mode. And a third-person mode. Which, lately the last couple of Resident Evil remakes that have released involve the third-person mode. So, it's kind of interesting that they're adding third-person mode for Village. And then they also talked about the free next-gen upgrades for Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil Remake number 2, and Resident Evil 3 Remake. So each of those are getting PS5 or next-gen free upgrades. So I mean that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But Resident Evil Village getting the extra content is cool. Not only that, finally, they announced that finally Resident Evil Reverse, that multiplayer will finally launch in October 28th to be specific, which it looks like that's going to also release alongside the DLC, the Winter Expansion DLC. So, a lot to look forward to on October 28th for Resident Evil. And then the next gen upgrades are actually out now. They're actually out now. So for Resident Evil 2 Remake, 3 Remake, and 7, you can get your next gen graphic upgrades. So definitely check that out. And then of course they showed off more footage of Resident Evil 4 Remake, which they got that confirmed for March 20th, I think it was 24th of next year, is when Resident Evil 4 Remake arrives. Like I said, I wasn't too thrilled about the idea of that getting a remake, but I mean, at the same time, you have to look back. Like, each of the old ones, I mean, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3 got remakes, and now 4 is getting one. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's the trend with Capcom and these Resident Evil games. So, I really shouldn't be surprised. But, I mean, I'm probably still going to get it. Just, I don't think I'm going to get it on launch, but I'm already pleased with the original Resident Evil 4. If they had never done a remake of that, I would have been satisfied, because the original Resident Evil 4 is great. It's awesome. It's probably one of the best Resident Evil games out there. But I don't know. Overall, I mean, the Capcom Showcase was I just felt like it was kind of a letdown. It would have been nice to see more Street Fighter 6. But I don't know. Like, I felt like it was a very Resident Evil heavy Showcase. But it is what it is. But kind of a letdown. And then we had the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary celebration stream. That was a couple of hours ago. Unfortunately, for some of the stream, it was very, very laggy. And also, the subtitles were not in sync. And, you know, some of the subtitles came in late to the point where they actually had to, like, rewind some of the stream to kind of try to replay it back with the lag hopefully fixed. But it was just a pretty bad stream. But thankfully, they did have, you know, separate trailers for each of their announcements that you can go and view separately. So at least they did that. I'm happy that they did that. But that live stream was just, it was an epic fail if you ask me. But for the announcements, I mean, they showed a little bit more footage of Final Fantasy VII, the First Soldier, which, not really interested. Ever Crisis is getting a closed beta sometime this year. I mean, the thing is, it's a mobile game. You know, it's a mobile game, so I don't know. I mean, it's releasing in episodic format, and it's supposed to cover, I guess, the entire timeline of Final Fantasy VII. So, I mean, the concept is cool. I'm just not too fond of this being a mobile game. But it's going to be free to play, and apparently it's going to have additional items and loot boxes and stuff like that. So, I mean, it does have me curious to actually see what it'll be like in action. Because I know they showed some clips. And, you know, if the whole premise is just going through the entire timeline in episodic format of Final Fantasy VII, then, I mean, that is kind of neat. That is kind of neat. So it's something that I'll keep my eye on. But First Soldier, really, really not interested in, just to be honest with you. And then a friend of mine was telling me that this was supposedly leaked, and sure enough, it ended up being becoming a reality. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. So pretty much a remake or a ported remaster of the original PSP game, Crisis Core, is coming to PC and to current consoles. The trailer looked cool. The trailer definitely looked cool. Personally, I felt like the original PSP game was okay, but I honestly didn't think it was that great of a game. I mainly originally played it just to kind of, you know, keep up with the story. But as far as the quality and such, I mean, I understand it was on PSP and whatnot, and I was pretty pumped for it when I first played it, but I felt like the game was alright. I'm definitely hoping that with this port remaster, that it'll play better. It'll actually be really, really good as compared to the PSP version. And it will come out this winter. So definitely, I definitely do plan on getting that, for sure. Definitely plan on getting that. And then, of course, they saved the best for last, which was finally... Oh, wait. Before I get to that, they made another announcement. They are bringing Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade to Steam, and it will play on the Steam Deck, which is on June 17th, which is apparently tomorrow. It goes live tomorrow. So, PC players rejoice. Y'all will have access to Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. And I don't know anybody that has a Steam Deck. I think I know one person that pre-ordered one, but yeah, this is coming to Steam and the Steam Deck. So we'll have to see well it does with sales. Because I know there's a lot of PC gamers out there. So hopefully it'll sell well. Okay, and then for the big one, which they saved for last, was part 2 of the Final Fantasy VII remake, which they have called Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Not only did they announce that, but they also announced that this whole remake will be a trilogy. So after Rebirth, there will be one more part. So 3 parts total. I know there was a lot of speculation as to how many parts was this whole remake going to get split into. I know some said 3, some said maybe even 4, but I figured it was going to be 3. I mean, the original was 3 discs, so they're sticking to that. But 3 parts. The thing is, and like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's really interesting how, with what they've showed in the trailer, I mean, they showed Meteor, which is a big deal. They showed a clip of Aerith praying, and then they showed Cloud and Sephiroth walking through together, which looks like where they were, I want to say, is they're approaching Mount Nebel, which is not far from Cloud's hometown of Nibelheim. So that's where I take that that clip was where they were going, was to Mount Nebel. It also showed Zack carrying Cloud towards Midgar. So it'll be really interesting, because one of the things that was said, check this out. Nomura-san, Tetsuya Nomura, the director, said a couple of things, and I quote. One, he spoke how the development has been progressing rapidly, and they have even started some development on the 3rd and final piece of this trilogy. And another thing that stood out to me that he said was that, let's see if I can remember. Oh yeah, that pretty much the story and how this was going to be done was going to be very unique, to the point that you don't even have to have played the original, nor even the first part, the remake. You could just jump right into this game without having played the others before. That's interesting. It'll have a different atmosphere. So, yeah, Nomura-san said that Rebirth is being developed in such a way that you don't need to have played the original version of Final Fantasy VII, nor do you have to have played the remake. That's interesting. That is really, really interesting. But like I said, the trailer they showed, it wasn't a long trailer, but it was definitely very interesting, considering the certain clips that they showed. Of course, with Meteor, with Cloud and Sephiroth walking together, which I'm pretty sure we're going to see more before the end of this year. And then we have to also remember that, I mean, 2 years ago was when Final Fantasy VII Remake came out in April. And they announced the second part, Rebirth, for winter of 2023. Now, I am under the impression, with how they spoke about how rapidly the development has been going with Rebirth, I'm under the impression that they mean either January or February of 2023, which I think is very doable. Right now it's June, so it's definitely very doable. I don't think they're gonna wait until December of next year. I mean, they might, but I don't see them waiting until December of next year. So I am under the impression that Rebirth is going to come out January or February of 2023. Um, but then again, well, the article on GameSpot said the winter release date window for Rebirth is a broad one and could mean we'll see it anytime between roughly December 2023 and March 2024. So this is saying, the article is saying that it may be talking more so of December 2023. Well, I mean, either way, it's going to be 3 years from the first part. So, dang. Well, maybe it'll be out before Christmas. I was thinking that it could have possibly been January or February of 2023, but I mean, if they want to do December 2023, I mean that would give it plenty of time to complete development and polish. So there's that. And then we have to also remember they also got Final Fantasy 16 coming out next year. So that's another project as well. That's a big one. That's a big one. So I mean, Square Enix, they're busy. They're definitely going to be busy, but I'm just glad. I'm just really really happy that we finally got some more information. And it raises a lot of questions like how long will Rebirth last? And what things are they going to do in Rebirth that you don't see in the original? And then we have to also remember the remake ended on a cliffhanger. I'm not going to say what it is, but it ended on a cliffhanger. So I'm very interested to see how much this Rebirth will cover, and then it could definitely give us an idea of how the third part, the final part, will finish off. But I'm excited. I'm definitely excited, and I'm just relieved to finally see some news, some information about the second part of this trilogy. And I'm sure between now and the end of the year, we're probably going to get even more information about that. Maybe Tokyo Game Show will provide a more in-depth trailer. We'll see. But with this being a 10-minute stream, we all got the information we have been wanting for a long time. So, kudos to Square Enix. The live stream part was very laggy and just had a lot of technical difficulties. But thankfully was able to go back and look at the trailer separately and see everything. So, at least that was cool. But let me know what y'all's thoughts are. What did y'all think of the Capcom Showcase? Any games from there that you're excited about? Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, Exoprimal, Street Fighter 6. Pardon me. What'd you think about the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary stream? What do you think about Crisis Core coming back and being remastered? Are you interested in Ever Crisis? What do you think about the news revealed for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and that it'll be 3 parts. How much do you think this second part is going to cover? Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell as well. And thank you so much for watching. This is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram with Blitzball Champ Gaming. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. And I will see y'all very soon in the next video. Take care. Peace.